wait, are we live? I'm
Sort
just
of.
kidding. I know. It
You
was
just
a
have
joke.
to be annoying with it.
What?
You just have to be annoying with it. Oh my lord. Like Scooter McGurger. You know who he is?
Who?
Scooter McGurger.
Who's that?
He does he has these not parody videos. Like week one fans be like, and he wears like all these different college shirts.
Oh.
He's like a big Florida fan, and he's like a big Cowboys fan, and he was on game day because he lives in Orlando,
Oh.
but he got real popular this past couple weeks, or not the past couple weeks, but since football season started. So, well, says we're live. I'm not sure that I technically want to be.
Let's start this like the Miami Hurricanes did, nice and slow.
No, we just won't get off the bus until after halftime. Man, God, this has to stop starting the same way every time. Oh my God. So I'm just going to read what I said a month ago on Twitter,
Oh boy.
if I can find them. So, I've got a big long rant on Twitter from when we lost to North Carolina. And it wasn't pretty, but it was I made a video, and
Oh.
I told Andrew I didn't like it because I thought it was very reactionary. I thought it was very much not ahead of its time, but it was I think it was too rash.
Maybe we should release it now.
I could, yeah.
Because it would be pretty appropriate now.
Yeah, because I ripped into both sides of the football. And then I was like, nah, it's more offense. Defense is maybe halfway. And then it was just as Andrew and I just talked, I was like, yeah, that seems just really just reactionary. It doesn't fit what I want to come across as. And then we just decided not to release it. But I've read all these tweets, and I don't think this is reactionary at all. I think this fits very perfectly. Andrew, I don't even think has heard these tweets, or even maybe seen them.
I've seen them.
But
I do follow you on Twitter.
Yeah, this was a month ago. So I said, Miami hasn't had a dominant victory since Notre Dame in 2017. This defense was supposed to be our shining star, but yet we are 106th in the country in pass defense. That was as of the North Carolina game. So it's probably a little skewed, but it's got to be around the same thing at this point. Before that two-game stint of Virginia Tech and Notre Dame, Miami's last dominant performance is honestly hard to remember. Dominating equals beating a team like we should have by the points that the fan base thinks we should have. And I put as a disclaimer, this no way reflects the players. Our coach says 2016 pretty much have received all the praise from the fan base. I think it was unwarranted, and myself included. I was very much praising them. But ultimately, they've done little to nothing to really warrant the change of hearts from the Al Golden era. Hashtag the new Miami, ? How is this the new Miami when it looks the same as the last 15 years? We make the same mistakes, just new mask. Our coach help us 0 degree Kelvin. Our players aren't the problem. Also, kick rocks with your spread coast.
That is very harsh.
That was a month ago.
That's very harsh, Tyler.
That was very much just a Sunday thought as
Very
I was
harsh.
thinking about it. And I was like, man,
You posted that after the,
North Carolina game.
right after, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was still kind of mad.
That was on the Sunday after. And I remember telling Andrew on Sunday, I was like, I just posted a ton of tweets. And they're pretty terrible. And it's just ultimately wind up being even more true. Let's just kick it off.
Let's kick it off.
So, Jaron Williams throws 3 interceptions. We're just going to skip everything else that happened in between there. Then we're going to start with just offense. We're going to talk about offense for a while. There's a lot to talk about with defense, but I really just don't want to talk about it.
Did you watch Bud Foster's postgame?
No, I did not.
You should.
What'd he say?
I didn't get to watch it, but I read someone that posted saying that Bud Foster went into this saying that he knew Jaron hadn't thrown an interception this whole season. And he said, we've been playing zone coverage, and he said, we're going to switch it up to man, and we're going to force him to throw interceptions.
Well, look, what did I tell you Bud Foster's defense does?
And
they're going to be very fast, very aggressive. They're going to force you to throw the ball on the outside, and they're going to force you to throw it deep. That's the only way you can beat them. And
so they practiced against zone, and they got man.
But that doesn't even matter. It's Bud Foster.
Yeah.
Manny Diaz knows exactly who Bud Foster is. If you're a defensive coordinator, you follow Bud Foster's archetype. Like, as a team built on speed and predicated on speed and aggressiveness, you say, hey, we're copying basically what Bud Foster's doing, and Bud Foster's doing it in Virginia.
Do you think it's Jaron's fault, though? I'm just being honest.
The first one, no. The first one was just unfortunate.
I'm talking about his start.
What do you mean? Like the fact that he threw 3 interceptions?
No, like just the throws that he threw, just his performance. Do you think it's his fault?
Not necessarily, because I think they were trying to be more aggressive.
You should watch the O-line. They could not keep up.
And it was also very bad for me, because it was like, it was like, no, under center. And then we gave up 7 sacks to Virginia Tech, who doesn't have a defensive line.
Dude, there was a play. I'm jumping ahead, which we're over there now. But in Kosey's in, and you're under center, and he's like, play action fake to no one.
Yeah, I don't know who went the wrong way on that one, but I'm pretty sure it's Cam.
He runs like 8 yards back, and he's just like...
Yeah, he realized there's nobody there, and then Kosey just being Kosey just gets a sack. He's not the most aware, but at the end of the day, we were trying to be more aggressive coming out the gate, and you could definitely tell the first interception was just unfortunate, and you could tell it had to click something in Jaron's head, because the second interception was a deep ball. It's one-on-one. He throws, so the corner is on the inside of the receiver. On the inside, meaning he is between the receiver and the quarterback. So, therefore, the ball has to be thrown over top of that guy in order to get it to the receiver.
Yeah.
And Jaron throws it right to the defender. And I looked at my brother, who we were watching it together, and I was like, that's it. I was like, that's Jaron done. He's like, nah. He said, he's been good all season. I was like, bro, I'm telling you. He's throwing it like that down the field, and we're trying to be more aggressive. Enos is feeling the backlash, and he's like, I'm telling y'all, like, I tried to do it aggressively, and look what happened with this kid. And then the third one was just, that was writing on the wall. It's like, okay, he's done. Yeah. Apparently he was hurt. But either way, I pull him there.
Manny Diaz said he was fine.
Yeah, I was a little mad that you pull him during the game, because it's like, dog, this is the guy you said was going to lead us to greatness. This is your guy. You said, I'm picking this dude straight up no matter what.
Yeah.
You bring in the transfer kid from Ohio State, and you're like, this was my first choice at quarterback, and Jaron beat him out. Is ultimately what you said. And then you pull Jaron, and I was like, man, that sucks. Like, that's stupid. Why do you do that? And then and it's like the whole first half, though, we were just like in this lull on offense.
Yeah.
We were just, like, even when Perry got in there, although we fumbled the ball and Kosey threw an interception in the end zone, everybody really was getting mad at him, but it was 4th down. Like, it's 4th and goal. You got to do something. It's a pick. It's a pick.
I didn't really feel bad.
What is that one mad?
The interception in the end zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of fans were mad because that's 5 turnovers on the game. But at the end of the day,
it wasn't really a big deal because it wasn't like a game-winning.
You gotta. We ran the ball 0 times on 4th and goal, or on 1 through 4 downs. We didn't run the ball once. We ran the same sprint out pass play twice in a row. And so then he throws an interception. Before that, Harley fumbles the ball, and it's like, man, we can't get out of our own way. Offensive line was looking kind of topsy-turvy already. You could tell they were really being aggressive. Yeah. And it seemed like Enos wasn't going to get aggressive with the football. And then the last drive happens, and everybody's like, oh, the Hail Mary. But it's like, look at like the 4 plays that led up to that.
Yeah.
Like, Perry's like rolling out to his right and throws a dime like 40 yards down the field to Jeff. who he hits like just perfectly.
Yeah, and Jeff was blazing.
Yeah, Jeff was sprinting
Jeff
across
was
the field.
blazing this
You
game.
could definitely tell they're boys because that was a connection that kept happening throughout the game.
Yeah.
But it was like you just showcase what Perry's calling card really is, which is his arm strength. People are like, oh, that's just Patrick Mahomes' 80-yard throws. No, arm strength is getting out of the pocket and while you're on the run, having the strength to throw the ball deep down the field while you're running, not being on platform, and ultimately throwing it deep, throwing it outside quick, which we saw throughout the game.
Yeah.
But at halftime, it just like you were like, man, like we got a spark. What are we gonna do with that? Because that's probably one of the biggest sparks you could really get at the end of the half is getting a touchdown through a Hail Mary, one of the most improbable plays in the game.
That just goes to show you, though, like the hopelessness, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's just throw a Hail Mary lob into like 8 different people and hope they catch it.
That's kind of what you have to do when you were getting down like that. So.
But they caught it. I mean,
yeah.
Miracle Miami is what they said.
Yeah, the offensive line was really playing terrible. We couldn't run the ball.
There was no pocket.
Yeah, there was just...
The pocket did not exist.
And I understand half of the reason the plays were happening in that game because it was the same way at Florida. And like we were just play calling scared, like we're going to get sacked as soon as we get the ball. We got to do something to counteract that. And I think you see during the second half what we wound up doing. But the first half, though, is just indicative of what's been happening to us this season. And when we go 3 straight interceptions, we fumble the ball, we punt it, and then we throw an interception, and then we cap it off with a Hail Mary. And it's like, yeah, that's typical Miami fashion right now at the moment. I don't know what else to say about that. But
I mean, I'm really surprised the Hail Mary worked, but
yeah, that was.
It was.
I don't think if that doesn't happen, I think we get whopped.
You think so?
Yeah, because I don't know if the offense really has that spark coming out of halftime. Because it really seemed like I don't know about the Hail Mary, but that drive in general that they put together, it really showcased what Perry could do for the team at the moment.
Yeah.
Which was Bud Foster's coming at you. You got to get the ball out horizontally, and you got to get the ball out vertically. You can't go over the middle of the field. You can't do that crap.
Yeah, you just got to get rid of
it. And then it really just Perry's it seemed like Perry was just a gamer, like a Steve Young, just like ball outside, ball down the field, ball down the field, but over the middle, over top of everybody. And it's like,
yeah. But I think Perry though had the aggressiveness that we needed.
Yeah.
To make the plays happen. Whereas Jaron, I don't feel like he has that aggressiveness.
Well, it's like I feel like it's like I said, the second interception. It felt like that was Enos' way of like, told y'all we can't throw the ball down the field. Like, this is what this kid does. I don't know if we're still live. We'll just have to roll with it. But it's like, I don't know what to do with this kid. He can't throw the ball deep. He doesn't have the awareness to throw the ball deep. Our offensive line isn't going to hold up. And then, the second half, or the drive right before the end of the half kind of happens. And it's like, okay, we could kind of do this. Just depends on a lot of factors. We can't do this consistently, and which we saw throughout the game. But it was like, it really to me was like Enos was like, okay, like we can do it. It's just not going to be pretty, which is fine with me. So we go to halftime, and I'm still a little weary of the fact that we're playing Perry, and man, he just comes out with like the best political answer you could ever hear. Just like, yeah, we're playing Perry. Like, Jaron threw 3 interceptions. We got to have a guy who can complete passes to our team. And it's like, well, yeah, I guess. Like, we got to have somebody. So,
yeah.
I don't know. That first half was really just
I wonder what
Miami.
the locker room speech was.
I don't know. But coming out of the second half, I noticed it. Manny Diaz had a play sheet. He didn't have it in the first half. If you watch the condensed game, he came out with one in his hand, and he didn't use it on defense. While they were on offense, He had the plays in his hand. Enos had it also in his hand. And it was like, man, he's yelling into the mic with the plays in his hand. And so it's like, I don't know what to infer from that, which I don't know if he was helping him or he just wanted to see what he was going to call or what the deal was there. But it got me really excited because I was like, man, he realizes that nobody knows what I'm talking about, dog. Like, that's what it feels like, at least. But we were doing a lot of things right in that second half. We were basically just full-on air raiding it. If we completed a pass, we were hurrying up, getting to the line, throwing the ball everywhere.
Yeah.
Didn't run the football like full-on Washington State. Well, we couldn't run the football, so that was part of the reason. But it's like we were just full up, just straight up air raid. Like, get to the line after completion. It's incomplete. We'll take our time. And we kind of kicked out a little bit of the under center stuff, it seemed. I'm trying to think from my memory. I don't remember us being under center very much in that second half. I remember being a lot of shotgun.
Yeah.
And, just a lot of, downfield passing. And
Yeah, and Brevin wasn't blocking, so he could actually receive some passes.
yeah, I think they were just full on, just like, get the ball out quick. They'll stop blitzing. Like,
I mean, if Brevin wasn't so worried about blocking, which it's not his fault,
yeah.
he could actually catch some passes.
Yeah, true. And I'm really angry with the fact that how much they take him and DJ Dallas off the field. And I think you could see it with Dallas, who carried the ball, and he, gets tripped up behind the line, and they take him out. And he's jumping up and down again for the second week in a row that we played football because we played last week. But, 2 weeks in a row, 2 games in a row, he's just jumping up and down. Like, no, I'm not coming off the field, and then ultimately they take him off. It's like, dude, he's our best player at the moment. Like, why are you taking him off the field? Just because he can't run the football don't mean he's not a good player. Like, get him the ball in space. You do something. But we're just taking him and Brevin off. I understand Brevin a little bit because he has to block on a more consistent basis, and he has to run routes. And Will Mallory is also a really good combo to come in after. But I'm not a big fan of Cam Davis at the moment. I don't know. He's just a little, he has good vision, but he doesn't, break tackles like Dallas does. And, I don't know about the top end speed is there either. But anyway. So we were basically just being vertical when we needed to and being horizontal when we need to. It's like we were being just absolutely perfect for a couple drives there. And then that first drive, as soon as we come out of the half, was just perfect. It was just boom, boom, boom. We were running the football well. We ran a nice power run. We ran a nice outside zone. But every time, though, it was Cam Harris. And it's like, why are we running with Cam Harris? When, it's not DJ Dallas's fault that he's getting tackled in the backfield.
Yeah.
And I digress because it was still good plays nonetheless. I just feel like Dallas could have ultimately had a better chance to score on all those plays just because I think he's better back. But, anyway. But due to our offensive line, our third quarter was a bit stale after that first drive. We didn't really do much. We got sacked 7 times on the game. So, it still was just any little inkling of fire that we would have on offense, they were just blowing it out, and we were coming back. And you could tell it was really kind of getting to Enos because it was like I'm trying to get this offense in order. We're actually getting something done. And here we go, moving back another 15 yards because Cam Harris or Cam Davis, whichever he is now, runs the opposite way on a play-action fake. And it's just Nkosi back there behind lineman who has nobody to throw it to because the guy ran the wrong way. So, but we'll transition into the fourth quarter. Miami scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. So we have the ball between the third quarter and the fourth quarter, that transition. And that was a really excellent drive that was capped off by a nice thrown ball to Jeff on a fade route that he just goes up and gets. And then the second touchdown of that half was just a simple bench route. If you don't know what a bench is, they run bunch. And so the receivers are lined up like this. This guy runs an out route, and this guy runs a corner route. And so Jeff caught the corner route, but on the backside, they ran an out route with a post instead of going the other way.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of faked the safety. So he had two options there, but Jeff was just wide open. And Jeff is very clearly Kosey's guy, it seems, because Jeff had an insane game.
Well, Jeff was beating his back, like
Yeah.
every time he was just blowing past.
Well, it was such a big difference that Justin even had like a tinfoil hat theory. Like, Jeff doesn't like Jaron. He doesn't want to play well for Jaron. Kosey's his boy. He hasn't been trying on purpose. And it's like, you can't argue with half of that. Half of that is kind of true.
Is he wrong?
And it's like, I told him, I said, it's Jeff Thomas. I wouldn't put it past him.
Jeff Thomas hasn't played this good this whole season.
But I think that is indicative of Jaron, which is just like he can't push the ball down the field. So we were seeing Jeff catch the ball on screens, which you haven't saw at all, I don't think. We caught him on a little underneath middle screen, and Jeff jukes out like 5 players.
Was it Jeff that did the fake screen? Or
No,
that was Wiggins.
That was Brevin.
Was it Brevin?
Brevin went out like he was going to block for a screen and then cut up. Yeah.
And he got like a huge
That was the
pass.
end of the – no, that was the possession.
Second quarter?
Yeah, that was the possession. He threw an interception.
That's right.
Because we ultimately did nothing.
That was beautiful, though.
Yeah. Or that may have been the end of the third when we scored the touchdown. Because Brevin scored that touchdown at the end of at the beginning of the third. I don't remember. But Jeff was just a monster on the punt return. He was insane. There was an excellent blocking on that punt return. And then you see just my favorite one. He catches the ball over the middle, and he's running. That guy comes from the right, and he spins him out of his shoes, and then ultimately gets out of bounds with 5.5 minutes left. And that was just insane. So kudos to Jeff, because I've been waiting for that game, for him to have that game for a really long time. And a lot of Miami fans have, because we know that he has that. He could do that every game. It's not like, hey, he had a good game, like maybe like a D. Wiggins or like a Mark Pope. Like, he had a good game. But no, Jeff could do this every time. And he's just showing, like, if we can push the ball down the field, who knows what will happen. So, then at the end, Dallas, after that bench route concept, we score. It is 27-35. We go for 2. It was one of the dumbest plays I've seen, because we have Kosey lined, it's a wildcat, so we have Kosey lined up on the left as a receiver, and then we bring Jeff from the right to the left. And it's like, who would expect for you to hand the ball off to Jeff, who the only blocker out there is Brevin Jordan and N'Kosi Perry. N'Kosi Perry is your blocker out there. It's like, who falls for that? Obviously, nobody on the defense does, but then Dallas jumps 5 yards for the 2-point conversion.
I didn't think he was going to make it.
As soon as he called that play and he was running in motion, I said, that's it. And
because he had three or four defenders on him, and he was just like,
he just jumped. It was like Space Jam. His arm just extended.
Yeah.
And when then he comes back, rips off a 60-yarder. Breaks a tackle, shakes, ducks under 2, and just books it. And I was like, oh my God. Like, we were all jumping up and down. And I was like, we're going to freaking beat this sorry team like we should have. And then our stupid kicker, bro. I told my brother on that drive, because he was like, we're actually going to wind up beating these clowns, because it started raining and everything. I was like, oh, this is quintessential Miami. It's raining. We're coming back. We got the momentum. All the fans aren't even moving because it's raining. We're all just out. We're all in just, it's the momentum. We're coming back. And then I was like, you know what? I was like, Bax has still got to kick an extra point. He's like, oh, it's an extra point. There's no pressure. We'll be tied. I said, we're still going to miss. It's Bubba Baxa. And he would get up there, and he just doinks it off the extra point line, or the goalposts. And it's like, yep, there goes that game. And you just feel everybody just like, like that was just everybody got punched in the gut simultaneously. And we just, the words I saw N'Kosi say on TV as they cut to him after he misses. And I was just like, yeah, that's the way everybody feels, dog. Like, whatever, man. So that's man. I can't defend this kid anymore. I was defending him from all the fans, like saying he lost his 2 games, but
I mean, he didn't cost you this game.
But he ultimately did. Like, it's not like, because I'm never that guy. Like, oh, this person cost us the game, this play cost us the game. Because it's like, no, we threw 4 interceptions total, and we fumbled the football. We should not have been in this game in general.
Yeah.
But we came back, and then we lose then basically now because he misses an extra point. Because he misses an whatever.
Does Miami not have another kicker?
Yeah, they do,
Like the
but
Australian
I guess
dude can't do.
No, he said he doesn't. Like, he's not good at kicking. Like,
Well, neither is Baxa.
But it's a completely different motion.
I know.
But yeah, they said that they have a backup kicker. I think his last name is Price. Let's see if I can find it. But I'm pretty sure his last name is Price. Anyway, he wasn't available to play Virginia Tech, or he's not available to play this coming Friday against Virginia. So it doesn't matter, no way. So Perry ultimately finished 28 for 47, which is a lot of passes, especially for what Miami's been doing this season. He had 422 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And Miami had 563 total yards of offense.
And still lost the game.
And still lost the game. The Virginia Tech's numbers on offense and all that doesn't really matter because they had to play with short field pretty much every time in the first half because we turned the ball over so many times. But do you have anything about Miami's offense or Virginia Tech's defense before we jump into the
I like Virginia Tech's offense.
The atrocity. So
I like Hooker to Keene.
Apparently he did too.
That was just like it was money every time. Or Hooker's like, oh, I have no one open? Let me just run the ball 30 yards.
We've played Virginia Tech so many times, and they have the same blueprint at quarterback. Other than Michael Vick. But Tyrod Taylor even couldn't throw that well. So you get a quarterback who is a run-first quarterback. He can't throw the ball that well. He's not going to beat you with his arm. And he's going to try to beat you with his legs every time. And what did I say? That was going to happen. And they come out.
They did it.
And they did exactly what I said they were going to do. So I have written down, I honestly don't have much for Miami's defense. We sucked. Play sucked. Execution sucks. We need someone new. Baker isn't for Miami. I have a couple other things written down, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah.
I've got a little golden nugget if you want to stick around.
I cannot.
Have you looked ahead to what I have for later?
No.
Okay,
no, I'm trying not to.
Good.
Just look at this. I don't know if you've seen this. Virginia Tech's 4th down efficiency. Do you know what it is?
100%.
Non-existent because they never hit 4th down.
Oh, really? I thought they hit it one time.
0 for 0.
Maybe they came out and then punted it.
They never had a 4th down against, which was a top 10 Miami defense.
Yeah.
How? How? I'm watching the plays from Miami's defense, and I'm watching Pickney, and I'm watching Quarterman, and I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah. I'm getting tweets right now that Danny Hughes is currently doing his press conference. And saying that he was calling vertical routes with Jaron, and they just weren't happening. And the guy said he looked at the film and it backs it up, that there were vertical shots with Jaron in the game. He just doesn't have the same arm as Kosi. He said Williams practiced yesterday. So, anyway, we're talking about the defense.
So, Williams can't throw far.
Apparently. Or he doesn't have the accuracy throwing it deep. Anyway, as the defense just woefully lost this game, I don't know what we were doing.
Miami's defense didn't get off the bus.
It's Justin Fuente. He plays the same pretty much as what Frank Beamer did with their running quarterbacks. It's not that difficult to do. I mean, for crying out loud, Manny Diaz was at Mississippi State, and that they have a run first quarterback who is Dak Prescott now, but he still did not throw that well in college. He did okay, and with Dan Mullen kind of fixed him up, but it still was just like you've seen these teams run first quarterbacks. It's college football. Almost every quarterback that is a dual threat is a run first quarterback, and it's like we weren't prepared for him at all. We were prepared for the fact that they were going to fake the run and throw it back the other way, which has been a staple of college football since the 60s. And the daggum split back offense. But first half is just out the window. I don't want to talk about that.
They did nothing first half.
Second half was okay. We played really well in that little stretch where we were gaining the momentum, scoring touchdowns back to back to back. But I think at that point it was just half the fact was it because they were just running the football, trying to run out the clock. But, yeah, I mean, then you get the drive after Miami doinks the field goal off the post. And it's like, yeah, writing was on the wall. You could just feel it. Oh, like the rain stopped. It was like everything that was going Miami's way just gone as soon as we missed that extra point. And they just go march them right down the field. That quarterback gets the throw of his life because he was missing those throws the whole game and just nails one. And it's like, of course, he nails that one, dude. And then they just march down the field and score. I don't know what else to say. I mean,
apparently Manny Diaz watched every snap of the game with the defense.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The entire defense. And he's quoted saying, "We've got to get our defense playing like the Miami Hurricanes again."
So,
I'm going to be honest. I think Manny's fake.
I have some nuggets for you.
We'll get to that, but I'm just going to go ahead. If you made it this far, stay tuned because I'm going to say Manny's fake. But
because I have some things that'll, I think, change your opinion. So let's just cut to that. But I have what can Miami do to fix his defense?
Yeah, let's talk about Blake.
Nothing if Blake Baker continues to call the plays. Nothing. So go down to where it says Manny Diaz interview this morning. Manny today said he is changing his role with the defense.
Blake's role or Manny's role?
Manny himself, his role with the defense. I assume that means he will be calling plays. That is what a lot of people are assuming. He says he will not give details. He says, but I feel like I need to be more involved in the defense of what the defense is doing throughout the game.
The Gators game, on the sideline, he was screaming at them with veins pumping out of his neck. Since that moment, I haven't seen it.
I just think I don't know what to think, man. Because it's like,
I don't know if he's trying to believe, if he's trying to let his coordinators do their thing and he's trying to believe in them.
I think that's what it is. He's trying to be CEO. And he's trying to say, I'm trying to be a big-time college football guy where I trust in my coordinators. I've hired them. They need to now earn their money. And I think now he said, I brought this guy in from the MAC conference to be our defensive coordinator, and he clearly doesn't know what he's doing. Just because he plays like me doesn't mean he knows how to play Miami brand of football. And that essentially is what he said this morning. He basically said the linebackers have checked out because his defense is...
And that was apparent.
And he says his defense is just not playing up to its standard. And you could definitely tell that the linebackers are checking out because of the way they're having a run fit. They're having a run fit against guards and tackles. And it's like, no, your linebacker should be engaged always on your tight ends and then shooting gaps where they need to. But no, they're always like sliding the line and, just the line is just going with wherever the offensive line is willing to take them. And it's like that's not the way you run fit, although Manny Diaz does have a segment on his Manny Diaz show where he explains his run fits. And it's like that was like a couple of good plays. We're going against the run really, really well, even though Hooker did pretty good against us running the football. He only had like 55 yards running, which isn't a ton. He could have had a lot more. So anyway,
He still looked good though.
Manny said that he will be reevaluating his role when it comes to defense. And I just assume from the fact that I saw he had a play sheet and he had all the signs that he was helping Enos in the game Saturday, that he is then basically just going to call plays on defense, because everybody on Twitter is going nuts because he is now saying, I'm getting the defense back. Like, this is ridiculous. So that's essentially what he said. But he also said Jaren will be the guy heading into practice. He said that, however, remains to be seen as how he handles what happened to him Saturday. I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Honestly,
which one I want?
If Nkosi wasn't so sloppy, which he has power, but when he plays aggressive, it seems like it's kind of sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's got the power and he's got the arm for us to play aggressively and he can roll out, some of those plays where he's like running 15 yards,
Sideways.
with the line of scrimmage, and then he's just like jumping and just slamming it to Jeff Thomas. I think that's what Miami needs.
It's hard to replicate. And that's what I told Justin. I said, Kosi is just enough of a gamer that you can forgive some of his mistakes that he has.
Yeah.
And it's ultimately, what do I want? What did I say last week? Or not last week, but the last time we talked about the state of Miami. I said, what do I want as a Miami offense? I said, I would sacrifice interceptions for playing a brand of football that I think Miami should play.
Yeah. I think we saw that against Virginia Tech.
You want to play fast, you want to play aggressive, you want to use your speed, and that's what we did at the second half. And we sacrificed a little bit of wonkiness from Perry. He's not getting the ball out. He's taking the sack.
Yeah.
But
I think
whatever.
too,
Throwing the ball into coverage.
When you have a top 5 Miami defense, it's okay to get interceptions because you can trust your defense is going to get it back.
Yeah.
So, but now it's like, okay, you can't even trust in your defense. It's like, which second half defense was a lot better.
Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, if it's up to me, I would say put Kosi in. Jaren might be good going forward, his sophomore, junior year, but let Kosi play. If he's going to make mistakes, just let him have it. Kosi needs to go into the press conference. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
Apparently, Blake Baker's still going to still call the plays. Whatever, dog.
Is that what Blake Baker said? Or is that what Manny
he's doing
said?
his press conference right now.
Yeah, well, maybe he doesn't know what Manny said.
It says, so Manny's going to be more involved in the defense, but Blake Baker will still be on the sticks calling plays. Blake Baker says he's really excited to hear Manny Diaz would be more involved in the defense. Calls Diaz the glue to put this all back together.
So then what is he? Isn't he supposed to be the glue?
The glue adhesive remover.
He's just the sticks guy?
Dude, this is... Oh, my Lord.
I'll give Miami 3 years to get back together.
I'm leaning more towards Perry, and I think everybody is now. Because everybody, I think, is living with the fact, like, this offense isn't going to do it. You either go full out and just shotgun, air raid it, just ball out with Kosi, just hope he doesn't make enough mistakes to lose you the game.
I mean, he made some decent runs, too. I mean, he didn't get very many good yards.
It's just, or you dink and dunk your way down the field like we have been the entire season.
Playing it safe.
Playing it safe and ruining your team.
Yeah.
Ruining Jeff Thomas. Ruining Brevin Jordan.
And honestly, maybe that's why Jeff is the way he is, because he doesn't want to run these little dink routes, as you call them.
It's like, dude.
He wants the money plays. Maybe Jeff wants to be the money.
I told him yesterday. I said, what do I yell about for 20 minutes every time on this stupid podcast? It's that we're not utilizing our team to its fullest potential.
Well,
and we saw the glimpse of it, finally.
Number one, DJ Dallas is not getting what he needs.
Obviously. No way. No way.
If I was him, I would be angry, which he is. You can see he's angry.
I'd be threatening to do a whole lot. As in, I'm leaving, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah,
but it's DJ Dallas. He's not going to leave. He's the backbone of this team. But at the end of the day, man,
The thing that bothers me about Diaz is he's very political. His dad was very political, so he knows what to say. He knows exactly how to
We'll
say
just
it.
jump up.
But I'm starting to wonder if Diaz is just all talk.
We'll jump up to the top because we were talking about. We jumped to the bottom just because I wanted to talk about what Manny said because it's kind of their press conference time, and so I said, "Is it Diaz?" And I'm not entirely sure if Diaz is the problem, or should Diaz be fired or whatever.
I don't think he should be fired.
It was a definite no. Like, as in, he's not the problem. We'll say he won't get fired, obviously,
Okay.
because they owe him too much money.
Let's ask him a question. Is he the solution?
He's got to be.
I think he's the solution for defense.
On offense, no, I think you're stuck. I think you got to just. This is what I've been saying. Is it Manny? No, I don't think so. But is it Manny in the sense that he hired two bums at coordinator? Yeah, I think so. I think he saw the Alabamas and the Georgias coming after Dan Enos. Well, he was already at Alabama, but he was the assistant, so they're going to upgrade him to coordinator. And I think he saw all these teams coming after Enos. Is like, oh, boom, we'll offer you more money to come to Miami. And I think he jumped the gun on that one. Blake Baker, I don't think he properly evaluated in the fact that he plays at Louisiana Tech. Although they did have a really good defense at Louisiana Tech, it was still just...
They're not Miami kind of guys, though.
Yeah, they just don't fit.
Dan Enos is not a Miami dude, you know?
I don't like him.
He's more of a preppy school.
I know there's a lot of names that I would have liked to have had for offensive coordinator, but I don't think any of them still would have really done what I wanted Miami to be, which is essentially the West Coast of the East Coast. I wanted the teams to play fast, use the speed that they have, even though we may be less talented. It doesn't matter. Mike Harley is definitely not as good of a receiver as Jeff Thomas is, but he's still the second fastest player on our team.
Yeah.
And it shows with the fact that we ran that little fake toss end around where he took that joker. He could have kept going if he'd have read the block right. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say with this offense. But at times, Dan Enos is the best scripter in college football. I'll say that. As in the fact that he comes out of halftime, like, okay, we're going to run this play. We're going to run this play then we're going to run this play. And then after that, when he has to go off the fly, I don't think he knows what he's doing. And it's the same way that James Coley was.
But is he playing? So do you think that he's like, all right, so we look and see what Virginia Tech did first half. We go into the locker room. Okay, we're going to make these changes. You think he's that kind of guy, or you think he just plays the calls the plays that he wants?
I think he's one of the best quarterback coaches in the country.
Yeah, we're not questioning that.
And I think he is also one of the best X's and O's guy when it comes to scheme and what they want to do when they come into a game. I think his play calls just suck. I think he really knows what the other team is going to do at all times. I just don't think he is aggressive enough to beat the teams when he knows what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think his calls are there. I think he's too smart for his own good, maybe.
Well, maybe he's thinking that he's got an O-line like Alabama. Maybe he's got the mindset of, okay, we can run it like Alabama could. Because
we give up. We're dead last in the country in sacks given up. We are dead last.
Yeah.
130th out of 130. So, but at the end of but here we are. Manny Diaz is like the new Miami, and I was even in on it.
I was too.
And I was buying I was eating up everything Enos was saying. We're going to play fast. This team is going to utilize our speed to its fullest potential. And then it's like even now, Manny's like, yeah, I'm going to take back control of the defense, or I'm going to increase my role of the defense. And then Blake Baker's like, I'm still calling plays, but it's like, well, then what the heck are we doing? Because that's the problem. It's like believing in Santa Claus at this point. You're 24 and still believe in Santa Claus? Wow. It's like, oh, You're 24 and you still believe everything the Miami coaches tell you? What are you, stupid? And it's like, that's what we're doing. We're just believing, I am at least, because Andrew's not technically involved in this, but every time I believe everything these coaches are going to say, and we are doing even worse than we were last year.
Here's a tweet. Hurricane lies from this offseason. A, the new Miami. B, Dan Enos. C, offensive line. D, Blake Baker. Or E, all of the above.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that just makes sense.
Who is Jimmy Murphy?
He's that running back that was a walk-on.
5'7" walk-on at running back.
He's the kid that did the flip after the Bethune-Cookman.
Oh, okay. Did they play him yesterday?
Yeah, he ran like a fullback dive and got a first down.
Wow. That's right. He's the kid that got knocked over.
And so I think Manny is also dealing with the fact that what our old coaches have done, with as far as the backlash goes, where he's just like, I'm a good talker, but we're not getting it done on the field. And I'm personally saying give him time. I definitely think everything that they've said throughout this whole season is just coach speak. I don't believe a word of it necessarily, but it's like, what choice do we have? Everybody's like, oh, we shouldn't have picked Manny from the jump. It's like, dude, all the other person was Mario Cristobal. He's a Miami alumni. He played here, but it's like he doesn't coach anything. He's just a head coach. He coaches offensive line. That's what he did at Alabama, because that's what he played. But it's like, what does he coach right now at Oregon? He's a head coach. What did he do before that? He was a head coach. He's never been an offense coordinator. He's never been a defensive coordinator. Nothing. So it doesn't help our current situation. And is that Manny's fault? No. I think Manny did what he could with what he was given. I think he had much money to be able to get a defensive coordinator. So he tried to get somebody that played like him. As far as offense coordinator, I think he just whiffed entirely. Right now we're 2-3. We have 2 losses in the conference. We still got a chance to win our side.
I don't see.
There's definitely a chance for us to win our side pretty easily. I
see Virginia winning. Honestly, I see Florida State winning. Duke is obviously going to win.
But it doesn't matter to me now what our offense did in the second half, because Jaren's going to be the starter. So it still doesn't matter. But it still also doesn't matter if Perry was going to be the starter, because I'm still almost dead certain in the fact that we would play the same exact way that we've been playing the entire season with just Perry in the quarterback. And it's like, well, I don't want that either. I would rather have Jaren if we're going to play like we used to play, because he clearly suits that better.
I think Perry would change it.
Playing exactly the way we played?
No, I think Enos saying what he did about Perry's strength, I think he would change the
I don't
plays.
think he would. I just don't have any faith in these coaches anymore. And that includes Manny. I like the fact that he was going to take over the defense, but honestly, it doesn't matter now per tweet because he's not even going to call plays. And so what's the difference of what you're doing right now? You're just somehow involved in this scheme. It's like, well, were you the head coach and you weren't involved in the scheme to begin with?
So it seems like Manny's just talking. It's like every week, every conference that I hear, post-game, practice conference, we just need to execute. As the coaching staff, we need to execute. We need to execute. We need to get the mentality of Miami back. And, honestly, this is like every conference that I've listened to. It's all right, hey, guys, we're going to we really think we need to execute. I think there's some things that we could improve on as far as coaching and staff and players as well. And we're going to continue to push on those things. And I think the other team had a really great game, and they were really fantastic, and they did a really good job. And we're going to go back and we're going to work really hard.
Yeah,
you know how many times I've heard that?
Oh, you know how many times I've heard that just in general? Not even from this guy. I've heard this since I was a fan of, hey, you know what? We're credit to that team, man. But guess we'll have to try next time. It's like that's your spiel, whatever, dude.
I think Diaz is good going forward. I think Diaz needs a little more time to grow. He needs a little more time.
We're definitely dealing with a coach
get
who
some
is
players.
his first year being a head coach.
Yeah, and honestly, and obviously I was very wrong about Virginia Tech losing, so I could be very wrong about Manny Diaz. He could be just not the right fit. Maybe he's stuck in the 80s, and we don't need a coach that's stuck in the 80s. Maybe they need a coach that's for today.
I don't know if the coaching style is necessarily bad. I just think we're just prehistoric on offense. Like, he's trying to be innovative, and it's like, dude, this is the stuff people have been doing for a while. The formations look different, and that in itself is modern. And it's like, well, we don't have the offensive line to do that. Yeah. It's like what Georgia Tech is going through right now. They have an offensive line that was predicated on every play. They're running a triple option wing T offense. And now they're like, we're going to go complete opposite and run the spread, and they're barely beating FCS teams. Yep. And it's like they got these little 260-pound linemen that are made to pull and, fly the way up the field to get blocks and all this stuff. And now they're barely beating these teams. And it's like, our offense is dead last in sacks given up. Like, even with your little stupid dink and a dunk offense, it doesn't matter.
But you know what, though? It's not only the offense. The Miami's defense, like the safeties and the cornerbacks, they did not look good.
I think the defense is easier to fix than it is the offense.
Looking at Virginia Tech, the offense made more strides in the second half than the defense did.
True.
And you just changed the quarterback. Well, you changed a couple other players.
Well, I think the defensive players are better than the offense. Cause what I'm saying is I think the defense is more inept or more willing to change than the offense would. Because I don't see Enos changing no matter who comes in at quarterback.
Your defensive fronts, yeah. But the backs?
I mean, I guess, man. I kind of agree with you. But you could scheme around that in a sense and still play Miami brand football.
But they're not. They're not doing anything.
But apparently, before the season started, when we had our QB battle, Enos said he had an offense that was predicated for every quarterback, no matter who they chose. Like, if we go with Tate, we got an offense that's just for Tate. We go with Jaron, we're running this style of offense that's for Jaron. We pick Kosi.
Did they do that?
It kind of showed it in the second half, but it's at the end of the day, I don't believe it. I don't believe that. Because why would you say that Jaron's brand of football that we're playing is better than even what Kosi's did? And it makes me so mad.
Well, my question, too, is if Kosi did so well, threw so many yards, yeah, he had interceptions, but so did Jaron. But it's like, if Kosi did as well as he did, then how is Jaron beating him out?
He's got to be just not making as many mistakes, but he threw 3 interceptions the other day.
Yeah.
So what's it matter? Oh, they're talking about Perry. I don't know, man. It's like Jaron clearly had the better game. I don't know who I would want to start. I think I want to start Perry, but at the end of the day, I don't think it matters. I think we're a team that's stuck in our ways, and we think we're going to eventually we all think it's Novocaine. It's going to work eventually. It's just not, man. It's not. We're prehistoric in some of our ideals.
Did you see that? To every question about the QBs, even when Perry's name was used, did y'all hear how Diaz responded? Well, Jaron. Every single time.
That's what I was trying to read, and I didn't understand it. But it's just a crazy ability that these guys have, that they can go into interviews and like bring all the players back down, or all the fans, for just us to go back out there and have 2 weeks to prepare against this team, and we come out 28-0, losing.
They did change up their defense. They did change their quarterback, Virginia Tech. So
that has no excuse for the offense.
Yeah. Well,
the offense was worse than the defense at one point.
Yeah, that's true.
Until the end of the first half, The offense was worse than the defense.
But also, too, you had 2 weeks of the players not showing up to practice as they should, too.
Well, they said last week they said it was perfect practice.
But the 2 weeks before that was bad.
True.
Yeah.
But
if you have bad coaching, then the players aren't going to be inspired to go to practice. I mean, that's obvious.
It's one of those things, man, where it's like I just want to say, like, get rid of Manny, get rid of all of these people, but it's like, dog, Jimmy Johnson was not a popular hire when we hired him. I'm not comparing Manny to Jimmy Johnson, but he does have this, like, way with the players like Jimmy does. But Jimmy Johnson went 8-5 in his first season, and then technically could have won 3 straight national championships.
Yeah, I was reading a tweet from somebody.
And it's like, I don't know. I'm tired of this team just spitting out just garbage and expecting people to react and think it's okay.
Yeah, somebody tweeted Nick Saban his first year at Bama went 7-6. Kirby Smart 8-5 first year at Georgia. Let's slow our roll.
I think he's definitely in the route to just getting rid of whatever culture or whatever cloud hangs over Miami at the moment, where it's like every kid just gets lackadaisical and doesn't care or doesn't want to come to practice, or when they're losing, they're basically pouting. And it's like, you got to set a team example that wants to win. And that's what he said in his interview this morning on the Joe Rose show. He said that Perry allowed them to be very vertical and exploit what Bud Foster does. So what that then tells your team is it doesn't matter who we roll with. We should be able to win with either quarterback. And that really gave me hope that, maybe Perry might beat out Jaron or whatever. But I think it's Jaron's job to lose, as it always will be, even though he threw 3 of the worst interceptions I've ever seen.
think Perry's the one to take Miami to the win.
I think Perry's just a gamer.
Perry needs to start. And if Perry screws up next game, take him out, put Jaron in. But don't let Jaron start.
He praised the fact that they came back, said that, it's important for a team to know they can come back whenever they feel like it. And it's like, well, bro, why are we down 20-0 then?
Yeah.
Why are we down 17-0 in North Carolina? He also noted that the extra point missed was definitely the biggest swing in momentum he's ever seen. He said the Dallas run that DJ Dallas had for 60 yards should go down, should have went down. That's one of the best plays in Miami history. And
now it won't because they lost.
And now it won't because we mixed the extra point and we played terrible defense. He went on for a while about Bubba Baxter. Said they're trying to make it as easy on him as possible. He said, but at the end of the day, kid's got to swing his leg and put the ball between the uprights. Yeah. And he just didn't on an extra point. I have final thoughts, but it essentially doesn't matter after what the press conference said today.
Yeah. It's pretty much what we've been saying. Mm-hmm. I do want to see Perry start. I want to see Perry start at Virginia and just see what happens. What can we lose?
Yeah. I always want to be the guy because it's like, that's a super popular choice right now. And I just always want to be the guy like, nah.
Yeah, it's like Jaron, yeah.
Like, it's Jaron. Like, offense wasn't that bad, but yet it was.
It was horrible.
That's the thing. Like, I can't say the offense wasn't that bad because it was that bad. We were not playing well against Central Michigan.
Oh, so I see what you're saying. What if Jaron would have stayed in for the rest of the game? We can't say that he would have been as bad.
Yeah. But it's not even that. Like, I'm just saying it more like the fact that we still, with Jaron's offense, we still struggled in the first half against Bethune-Cookman. Like, our offense was not doing that well against Bethune-Cookman in the first half.
Yeah.
And it's Perry's fault because Perry missed guys that were wide open. Perry didn't throw the ball away. It's like, if you want quarterbacks that are perfect, then you're stupid. Look at the way Russell Wilson plays. Russell Wilson plays like a gamer. He's got an incredible arm, but he takes sacks when sometimes he shouldn't because he's trying to make plays that throw the ball down the field like you seen Thursday night to Tyler Lockett. That should have been a sack, but he broke out of it and rolled around like a little jackrabbit and threw it perfectly in the corner of the end zone, and one of the best throws you'll see in probably 5 years.
I feel like Miami needs to take a chance. If they're going to lose anyways, throw Perry in, take a chance. If Perry doesn't do it. And they were talking about Jaron being hurt. Manny said post-game that Jaron was not hurt. He could have went back in if he wanted to or if he wanted to, that was not the issue.
Yeah, so I left my brother's house, which he was like 30 minutes away. I left his house, and I was like, oh, you know what? I think they'll say they don't know who the starter is, and they'll go through it throughout the week. But as soon as I left, I saw the post-game press conference, and it said, Mandy's like, yeah, we're going with Jaron. I was like, that's so stupid. Why would you automatically say that when you just literally had this kid bring you back from 28 to nothing? They went up 35 to 14 or whatever, and he still brought you back. Like, they scored 35 points with Jaron out of the picture, who threw 3 interceptions. 2 were horrible. 1 wasn't exactly entirely his fault. He shouldn't have thrown it, but it bounced off the receiver, and the defense caught it. But it's like, bro, Kosi scored 35 points with the offense being under his control. And you're just, like, going to write him off like, nah, probably not going to start him. It's like, how do you ignore that? Because this has been the exact same thing I have heard my entire life. Nothing about this team is innovative at the moment.
Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. It's probably better if I don't say that.
I don't even know if I've said this before, but every national championship team we've had was innovative. Have you ever heard me say that?
No.
Every team that we had did something that was completely new for what Miami was doing and what a lot of the teams at the time were doing. In 1983, Miami was one of the only schools in the country that had a pro-style offense. They didn't run the split-back option or anything. We threw the ball like they do in the NFL. And then in 87, when we won, we were the first team to use the 4-3 defense.
Yeah,
like,
I do remember that.
We were some of the fastest linebackers, and we were running the 4-3. What did we do in 89? We ran the one-back offense. It's the same in 91. Nobody was only using one back to run the football and use your 3 receivers and not do split back. And then in 2001, we were just out-recruiting everybody. It was the first time you saw a team really get most of the best recruits in the entire country.
Yeah.
Like the way Alabama used to, not they anymore, but they were doing there.
2009, yeah.
For 10 years, where it's like, if there's a good recruit in the country, more than likely he's visiting Alabama at least one time.
Yep.
On his visits. And it's like, well, what innovative thing have we done since all of that? It's like, well, the only innovative thing we've done for Miami standards, we played a soft zone defense with Mark D'Onofrio, and that was the worst thing I've ever seen. And then you cut to now. It's like, well, what is innovative? I mean, the striker position is innovative. Nobody really has that. What are we doing different on offense? A whole lot of nothing. I mean,
you're just playing it safe.
Like, it's like, oh, the formations are innovative, all this stuff. It's like, what about the plays attached to it? It doesn't matter. We're still running mesh routes underneath. We're still handing the ball off that gets nowhere because our offensive line is terrible. We're still under center 90% of the time. Like, dog, it doesn't matter. We're not innovative enough. And what is innovative? I don't even know at this point. I mean, because it's what is everybody doing that you're not doing? Well, everybody in the NFL right now is playing offense the exact same way we are. We just can't play it. And so it's like, well, you're innovative, but we don't have anybody that can cope with the fact of what we're doing. So you need to do something else that's innovative for Miami standards of what everybody else plays around us and who we play in our league. So I don't have the answers that I wish I did because I have answers, but I just don't think anybody will do it. Nobody on this team will man up and just change the way they're doing it completely. Like, and especially you can't do it in the middle of the season either. And so season is a wash. Almost. as far as being new and, spreading the ball out or whatever. I just don't think that we're going to do it. I just don't think Enos has it in him. As far as defense goes, I think we're just stuck until Manny ultimately just takes away Blake Baker's headset. It just says, go sit down.
He won't do it, though.
Yeah, but I don't think Manny will do that either.
Here's what Blake said, which you kind of said this. But Blake said, the fact that I've been able to walk down the hall and pick his brain at any time, talking about Diaz, is awesome. That's the dude that you got controlling the defense. Oh, the fact that I can go pick his brain anytime, that's awesome.
This is a guy that worked at ESPN. He knows how to answer interviews and answer questions. And his dad is a politician on top of that. So he knows how to answer questions and knows how to answer them when they concern sports.
And that's all I think he's doing. He's just answering questions.
He's just Jedi mind tricking everybody.
I think he's fake.
I don't know. I don't know what to think at the moment.
I think he's fake.
I'm not sure what to think.
He's fake. What if Manny's the problem and Enos and Baker's not?
Oh, you're saying who's fake?
Manny.
Oh, yeah. That's what I thought you were saying. I'm not sure what to think at the moment.
His dad's a politician. He knows how to be a politician. He knows how to put a fake face on. But
I think half of his circumstance, no way, is just the sheer bad luck he was given. He was given a terrible offensive line. He inherited an okay team, but at the end of the day, it's a very shallow team in the sense that it's just the top.
Okay, I'm just going to say this. Me and you are not NFL coaches.
No.
But it does not take, and I am not very literate when it comes to play calling, but if I'm playing with a team and I know that the O-line sucks, I am not going to put the quarterback right behind them every snap.
Yeah, I know.
So what's their excuse?
I don't know what Manny's thought process is. I don't know if he does it because I don't think he knows enough about offense to even okay, Enos,
Oh, so you think he's just heavily relying on Enos?
I think he's got to, because I think this is what I would say if I were Manny Diaz. This is what I would have done my first time. Say, okay, I'll keep my hands on the defense. I'll hire a defensive coordinator to at least call the plays, which is essentially what's happened now. It's just you whiff on DC call, as in who to pick.
Right.
So you say, you call plays, so I don't have to worry about that during the game. But when it comes to scheme and everything, that's me and you. So I'm still technically defense coordinator. I'm just not calling plays.
Right.
So when it comes to offense, I don't coach offense. I've got to get a guy that could be head coach of offense. And I think he picked.
That makes sense.
I think he picked Enos to get under from Saban. You know how Saban's going to be. Saban's very controlling. And he said, hey, if you come here, we'll pay you more also, but we'll say you're head coach of offense. You could do whatever you want with offense.
But Enos isn't an offense guy.
But he whiffs on that too. You whiff on that. And that was what.
So now Manny's in a pickle because he's having to try and learn how to run an offense and having to babysit the defense.
But he didn't hire the position coaches he's got. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said, you're head coach of offense, hire whoever you want. We'll interview them as long as I think they're decent people, whatever. If you think they've got the X's and O's in the drills or whatever to be good on offense, that's you.
But if he doesn't know.
That's what he said. But he's like, if I take play calls from this guy, I don't even know on this team at the moment who's good at play calling. I know their past history, where they've been, but do any of these guys have they ever called plays in an interim scenario or anything?
Yeah. Because
it's if you take it from Enos, who do you give it to?
That's true. But it's kind of to me, and I could be wrong, but if Manny is as good at defense as he is, and he can, if you're a good defensive coach, you can read the other team's defense.
Yeah.
And it gives you an understanding of how to run offense.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what the defense is going to do, right?
It's not as simple as that, no.
Okay.
It's like knowing defensive tendencies in because you can line up and be here's what they're doing,
Right.
which is what the guys up in the booth do.
Right.
They're not like offensive gurus, but they're like, all right, look, when they line up with, they got two corners on the right, when they got a nickel corner, they tend to blitz that nickel corner
usually
on third and
they're gonna do this.
or that's what he says. He's like, on 3rd and 10, you've ran that you've been in 3rd and 10 twice. They bring that corner on 3rd and 10 both times. Like that's all you could say. It's not like, well, I've got. I know plays that'll beat it, but you have to. It's all counter punches and punches.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's chess.
you set up 4 setups, 4 setups. Like,
It's chess. Yeah.
And I just don't think that Manny. I definitely don't think Manny just has that in him just to call plays. It's not everybody's.
So what? Manny goes back to defensive coordinator, and we get a new head coach, which won't happen.
No,
Obviously,
I think
fire
Manny
him.
just whiffed on what he wanted to do, which was be CEO, like put trust in people to do this right,
And carry it.
and like this will be my job more than likely. But like I've got to, this is what college football is doing. Like I'm the head coach, like I'm ultimately the face of recruiting. Maybe I focus on recruiting more during the week or something as the head
Which
coach.
that would be great. I think Manny Diaz would be a great recruiter.
Yeah,
if the
we're
coordinators
still whiffing on recruits. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's
It's gonna be a rough couple years.
yeah, we're definitely not in a good spot for next season. Offensive line doesn't get better. You probably lose Navon Donaldson if I'm him because he's a junior, and he's definitely your best offensive lineman.
What was it? Manny said in his press conference that they basically played surrender, so that Virginia Tech could get the touchdown. Surrender defense.
Oh, maybe that was at the last drive. I didn't watch it.
He
Maybe
was
you
saying.
talk
He was saying. I think it was, but he was saying we just played surrender, so that they get the touchdown, so we can get the ball back.
Maybe that's what it was because it seemed really easy
Yeah.
for them to score that last touchdown for Virginia Tech. If that's the case, then yeah, that's just a numbers game. You have more time. He probably said that once because they hit that deep ball in the first play.
Yeah.
That was like 30 yards. And so maybe after that, you're like, well, they're on the 50. They've got 2 timeouts. They get kick the field goal and they win.
Yeah. And
Well,
we
they have-
can't kick the field
That's
goal.
when they've got a minute and a half to run out and only have to get 20 yards. It's like, so they're going to run all this time out and kick the field goal and put us with hardly 0 time to go all the way down the field.
Yeah.
Or you just let them do it and score and you go down there and hope for the best.
Yeah. But that's what he said they did. He said they ran the surrender.
I'm not opposed to that at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that off the bat, but I would say if I were a betting man, as Mandy's such a numbers guy, I would say he did it after they hit that big throw.
I don't know if you caught this, but it did look like Miami had a second left on the clock.
Yeah, they cut.
They called it.
Yeah. So we were watching it on Watch ESPN, which is like the live stream one, and the refs came and said, "Yeah, the game's over," and Manny's like, I'm not going to shake Fuente's hand. Like there's 1 second.
Yeah.
And Georgia and Tennessee was supposed to be on ESPN at that time. And all the announcers were like, I think this is going to go. They're like, oh, wait. They're coming to review it. Wait. And they cut to the Georgia-Tennessee game.
Oh.
And so me and Jess are just sitting there like, you can't find the game anywhere. And so we have to look on our phones, the guy that's at the game, like play by play. And he's like, well, there's 1 second left. And we're like, I'm sitting on Twitter just refreshing it, and I guess Jaron threw the ball, and it just like he didn't go over the guy enough, and he just knocked it down. But it probably would have been. It was a terrible decision. It was like 4 guys around him. It was a terrible play. It looked like I don't really remember it. I've only seen it like once, so I just
Let Perry start.
That's
That's my Band-Aid.
If your offense is going to play like they did Saturday with Perry in there, I would say yes. But if your offense is going to play like it normally does with Jaron, I don't know. I don't think so. I think Jaron's best equipped to do what he's supposed to do in that offense. It's just I'm tired of believing these coaches, so I'm done.
I like the Perry-Jeff combo, and I think they should let DJ run the ball more.
Yeah, for sure.
Just let DJ just push the ball, you know? Because if he can break out like he did, which he does. Yeah. He's a breakout guy. He breaks tackles, and once he's gone, he's gone.
Yeah, for sure.
Let him have the ball.
I think they're just – I don't know what they're trying to do with everything. It's like I don't know. I feel like I keep saying the same things over and over and over again, but it's just I don't think we're equipped as a team.
Yeah, there it was right there. That's the 1 second play. Those are right to the back.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was anybody
Right.
even open. If you can let Kosi be a gamer, then yeah, I would go with Kosi all day. And because even before the season started, everybody was like, "Oh, Kosi's leading the pack. Kosi's in the 11-on-11s. Kosi is way better. Tate is obviously the best quarterback in terms of errors, but he doesn't have the arm. Kosi, or you got Jaron, who doesn't play well in 11-on-11s, but has a fantastic arm, and then Perry is somewhere in the middle."
Did you see Diaz said, this is not a coaching issue. This is not a scheme issue. This has nothing to do with Blake Baker or any coach on the defensive side of the ball. This is a culture issue.
That's what he said on the Rose Show, right?
Someone said it's Blake's middle name culture.
Yeah.
This is not a culture issue. I mean, unless the players are soft, like this guy says, it means we're soft. Are the players really the problem?
I don't think so, man. I don't know how they can be. I do have a problem with the fact that we're like fronting on Instagram and then we get whopped. And it's like, I'm tired of the turnover chains and the rings.
It needs to be gone. They
I'm
need to
tired
take
of
away
those.
the rings. They need to take over the chain. Miami doesn't deserve it.
How many times do we have the turnover chain this season?
Uh,
We had it twice at Florida.
maybe 5?
Not many. We definitely haven't had it in a while.
Maybe
We had it
5?
at Bethune-Cookman a couple times.
Did you get it once at UNC? No.
I don't think so. But I'm tired
I think
of
you've had it 5 total this season.
I'm tired of the props. I'm tired of the gimmicks. I just want to play Miami football in the way Miami should play. Like, we should play fast. We should play aggressive. And we're just not, man.
Yeah, I think you got it once against the Tar Heels.
We're just doing the same thing that we've always done since 2004. We're just putting new faces in the helmets and new bozos at the helm. It doesn't matter.
I know we're not supposed to do this, but Miami, Virginia. I don't see Miami winning.
I don't know. Let's see if they say anything at press conferences that make me believe anything
Yeah.
they want to say.
Which I think we're going to go live Wednesday after the press conference.
Yeah, they all do press conferences on Wednesday. Or, you know, they may have been what today was.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because they got a short week. Because they have to travel to Virginia, too.
So they might do
Oh,
it.
no, it's at home. Wait, I'm stupid.
Yeah, it's home.
I don't know.
So they'll have practice conference Wednesday. But we should be going live on Wednesday. We're going to do the pregame for Virginia, where we lie through our teeth and say that they're going to win and they're not going to win. In other news, I'm just gonna say I'm really excited for the Florida LSU game. I think that's going to be a great game.
Y'all are going to get whopped.
You said that about that Auburn was going to whomp us, and they didn't whomp us.
Y'all are going to get whopped. I'm telling you.
I think
LSU is not even that good of a team, and y'all are
we're
going to
both
get whopped.
undefeated.
Y'all are not that good. I'm telling you.
I got my Florida shorts on today. You can't see him. but
Trask
they're
is
on.
not that good.
He's good.
No, he's not.
He's better than Perry. Better than Jaron.
Better than Jaron, that's not that hard to do.
Well,
In terms of throws.
so that's what I'm excited for. Are we going?
We're still talking about going to the Virginia game. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
We should go to the Florida State game.
In Tallahassee?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going there and losing to that bum school. A bunch of country rejects. No way.
So here's my thing. Let Perry play. Perry needs to go in the press conference. He needs to go in Manny Diaz's office and says, "Look at me. I'm the captain now." Because he kind of looks like that guy. No offense, but
Oh, man. It's just, why are we in such a bind? Why are we
Zion Nelson, I'm sorry, dude, if you see this. I know you're a big boy, but I don't have any faith in you.
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely not in a good spot either. I really am very just man. It feels like this is the same as when I watched Randy Shannon back in the day. Like it was like because
I
Randy
don't
Shannon.
know.
I don't know if you know who. Do you know who Randy
Yeah,
Shannon
he
is?
was the same scenario.
But do you know
He was
like
the defensive coordinator.
do you know who he like is from Miami though? Like he played
is?
at Miami.
Oh, he did.
He played
Yeah, I
for the Hurricanes like in the 80s. He was a assistant with Miami, was an assistant at the Dolphins, then was a defensive coordinator at Miami. And he was honestly when he was at the head coach, our defense was always pretty good.
Yeah.
Our
I
offense-
remember watching them when he was the defensive coordinator.
Yeah. And our offense just sucked.
Yeah.
Like we had one good recruiting class and they didn't turn out for much because we didn't have good development. Like we had Miami Northwestern High School had 8 kids that were D1 on one side of the football.
Wow.
And I think we got pretty much all of them. It was
Wow.
Ja'Cory Harris. I think it was a
I
couple.
remember Ja'Cory Harris.
It was Ja'Cory Harris. Armani Johnson, was that his name? Well, there was a lot. Anyway, that 2014 recruiting class that we got is insane. So it feels like the same way with Randy Shannon, where it's like he didn't. It's like a combo of Al Golden and Randy Shannon, where it's like Al Golden knew what to say. He knew how to rile up Miami fans. Like, we're talking about the glory days. You know, this is what Miami's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, he played the exact opposite. And then you have Randy Shannon, who didn't say anything and played kind of like Miami. We just weren't good enough. And it feels like this, where it's like Manny Diaz is saying all the right things, and we're just not playing good enough. It's the combo where it's like we're playing like Miami, but it's not really on defense. Like it's just a shell of what it used to be. It looks the same from a top end's perspective, but when the play calls come down to the X's and O's, it's not the same. On offense, that's just an atrocity. Like it's not anything that resembles Miami, but we're saying it kind of is Miami brand football, or we're trying to establish it as Miami brand football, but just don't have the talent. And it's like, can this offense work eventually? Yeah, I think this. You could put Alabama in what Enos is doing right now, and they would blow everybody out of the water.
Well, yeah.
Because I think he would open that aggressiveness up for a team that plays like Tua and Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy,
But you have
and
the
Devontae.
talent.
Huh?
You got the talent.
That's what I'm saying. So if they stick with Enos and eventually they get some talent, does it work? Maybe. But
I just don't think Enos is
I
that.
don't want to play like that anyway.
And that's what I said earlier. I said if Enos was the OC at Alabama, it would work. But it's not going to work for who Miami is right now.
Mm-hmm.
They need somebody else. That's just how I feel.
It's just, is it Enos' fault or is it Jaren's? Because apparently Jaren can't throw that far. We've seen him, even with a second interception. That was a terrible throw on a one-on-one scenario on a deep ball. The third one was even deep. That one was like 15 yard out, and he stared at the entire time, threw it right to the defender. And it's like,
Well, let Perry play. Perry can throw deep.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I think it's
And
half.
if
half Enos now.
If you're gonna throw short plays, put Jaren in, and then when you throw long plays, put Perry in, and then kind of trick people out.
You can't do that. No, you can't do that.
You can.
That's not gonna work. No.
I mean, you trick them out. You put Perry in and then run the ball.
It's like when they bring Tate in at quarterback.
Yeah.
You know they're not gonna throw it with Tate.
Yeah.
It's a weird because I was all out on Dane Enos and half on Blake Baker. Now I'm flipped. I'm half on Enos and I'm all out on Blake Baker because I think Blake Baker is the problem with the defense. He is 100% the problem. On offense, it seems like that was Enos's baby to begin with. That Manny said, I don't want nothing to do with the offense. I'm not an offensive guy. You take it. And so it seems like it was just Enos and Manny were almost head coaches, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's I think there's definitely a lot that's Enos' fault, but I think if he had Alabama's offense, they would be number 1 in the country in total yards. Because they can run the football, they can throw it the way he wants to, and they can do what they want. So it's like you can't bring that to Miami and now, because it was good in theory, but now we don't have the line.
Yep.
We don't have the quarterback that can throw it deep at the moment. You're not playing him at least. But you got one, even if he does throw it deep, he's not the greatest decision maker.
Yeah.
And it's
he's
like,
slumpy.
that could be that's the thing. It's like, that's okay to us. But to some coordinators that are purists at heart, that's a big turnoff for them.
Yeah.
That are like, they'll go with the backup quarterback just because he doesn't throw interceptions. Like, if you can move the ball down the field, like you're seeing right now in the NFL, you've got all these quarterbacks that are hurt. And they're like juggling between who they want to start. And it's like, well, this guy doesn't throw interceptions. Well, this guy's got the better arm. It's like, but this guy doesn't throw interceptions. This guy doesn't take those crazy sacks.
Yeah.
But we can keep the drives going. He doesn't put us in positions on drives where we go backwards or it's not our ball anymore. And it's like, at some point, you got to figure out in your own head as an offensive coordinator what you value most. Do you value security and not making us go backwards? Well, it's like, well, at that point, it doesn't matter what quarterback does it because Jaren's getting sacked no way.
Yeah.
With our offensive line.
And that makes sense that Enos wants to keep his record clean because maybe he's trying to go somewhere else and he wants to look.
I'm not saying like that. I'm saying it's like you want it to be
But he wants his record to be clean. He wants people to say, "Oh, he's a great QB coach." You got Jaren, who's throwing complete passes. His percentage is over 70%.
Well, it's just like I said last week, what Frank Beamer said. If you pass the ball, there are only 3 things that happen, and 2 of them are bad. You either get sacked, you throw an interception, or you throw a completion.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, if 2 of those are bad, you got to eliminate 2 of those. And so you got to have one guy that eliminates all those.
Yeah.
67% of your problems on one play. You got to have somebody that eliminates that. And if that's an offensive coordinator that really values that, then okay. But if you've got somebody that says, well, maybe he's a little wonky on 2, but we're going a lot better with our completions as to what we're doing with the ball. And I think that's Miami's point of view now, where it's like we've had enough quarterbacks throwing interceptions. That's numb to us at this point. We're just having a terrible offense to top it all off. So, I don't know. I keep saying I don't know after I rant for 20 minutes, but it's just like...
Yeah, and it seems like Miami's schedule kind of lightens up.
Yeah, we play Georgia Tech after, or do we have a bye week?
10... No.
We play Virginia.
10-11, you play Virginia, then 10-19, Georgia Tech, 10-26, Pittsburgh. I think after Pittsburgh, you have a bye week. 10-26 to 11.
I'm kind of right here somewhere. Yeah, so we play Virginia, we play Georgia Tech, we play Pitt, we play Florida State, Louisville, bye week, then we play FIU at Marlins Park. We play Duke at the end of the season. Georgia Tech should be an easy win. Virginia plays a lot like Miami in the sense that 1 week they're really good, 1 week they're really bad. Pitt, I don't see them beating Pitt because Pitt beat UCF. I don't know if you knew that. Florida State, it's just Florida State. That game's going to be iffy. Louisville's all right. They got a first-year head coach, too. The bye week, we may lose that one. Who knows? And then we got FIU, which I think will win, and then Duke is a weird one. I'm pretty sure we'll lose that one, too.
Yeah, for sure.
But in realistic chances, North Carolina could lose again, and all Miami has to do, you can still make the playoffs. Not the playoffs, but you can still make the conference championship. You'll ultimately probably get whopped, but you'll make it. It's a lot of money.
I don't know. I don't see Miami improving.
I don't see them improving either, but it's definitely within grasp to do it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. That's really all I have to say about Miami. Did you see that guy you were telling me about, Zion Williamson? Is that his name?
Yeah, the basketball player?
They had like a little practice session.
They have preseason.
But they had something. And like 10,000 people showed up.
Oh, yeah, probably. Because he's like literally like one of the biggest players in the country. He's like LeBron James, almost. Like when LeBron James came out of high school.
Maybe we should just start talking about basketball.
I would really like to shoot myself. I don't know a lot about basketball. But
oh, yeah, their first scrimmage. 10,000 people showed up for his first scrimmage, and at the end they asked him.
Well, they also traded a lot of their picks for Anthony Davis, who was like one of the best players right now.
Yeah.
So LeBron James and they're like a guy who's like my age, who's 24, is one of the best centers in the league when they're both playing together. And so they traded like all these first round picks that they've had, like Lonzo Ball. You probably heard about him.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Brandon Ingram, who was our first round pick, and they traded their first round pick they had this season, which was like the 5th round pick or number 5 pick. And so they've got, and then they drafted Zion at 1 and another kid. So they have 4 first round picks on their team right now, and they're a very young team. And so a lot of that is Zion, and a lot of it is the fact that they have a really, really young team, in the sense that none of them are really over 22.
Wow.
And they're all really, really young.
Let's go Pelicans. This might be a Pelicans podcast.
Hey, we'll see.
You know, the thing just said it was 50% charged.
I know.
And then it drops to 4.
I don't understand.
It's crazy.
But
let us guys know. Let us know what you think. I mean,
do you agree with what we've said about Miami, or do you think we're perfectly
like
fine?
this podcast if you think that Perry should start, and hit dislike twice if you think Jaron should start.
Hit dislike, then hit like if you think Jaron should start.
Yeah.
But follow me on Twitter. I go off during the games. I said definitely hashtag fire Danny Nose in the middle of that game. But yeah, all of the Twitters and the Instagrams and all that stuff linked in the description later on once we can get all that. We have it all figured out. I just don't really post on it.
Yeah.
But it's not looking good.
Rest
man.
in peace, Miami.
Yeah, I guess. So we have to go turn that off.
But those Gators, though.
We have to go turn off the Sun Studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. Bo Nix played terrible.
Those Gators, though.
Bo Nix played terrible. They terrible play calls too. They didn't know. They did him no favors. And they were just.
Oh, who was I watching that talked about that? I think it was on ESPN. They were talking about Florida's or Auburn's linebackers were not good for coverage.
Oh yeah. It's
so
usually
they were running man, and so the receivers were just juking them out and just like wide open, and it's like Florida just capitalized on it. Also, I don't like Florida's new logo.
Oh, the old school thing they wore?
I
kind of liked it.
Kind of looks like Facebook. I
don't know. Well, as he goes to end the stream.
My Florida shorts.
Is his Florida shorts. I don't know if you guys heard him. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Man, this feels like it could not have been a worse time to start a podcast. But season's not over. We can still do this thing. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time. Go Canes. I didn't say